So around the age of 9 years old, I moved to the United States from South Africa. I was not born in South Africa, was born in Zimbabwe, but spent about 5 years in Zim, 5 years in SA, otherwise South Africa, and then moved to the United States and called that home essentially for the rest of my childhood, teen years and 20s, etc. And as a legal immigrant, because we did come here legally, and I'd be lying if I said that all of my family came here the legal way, but as a legal immigrant, it's been interesting for me, or as even a naturalized citizen, right? Because we went through the process of getting a green card, and the next 10 years becoming naturalized citizens of these United States, which essentially meant being on your best behavior, making sure you're contributing to the ecosystem, etc. Right? But being an individual with that sort of perspective, it's been interesting for me to see the backlash that has come from DJT, otherwise known as Donald Jacques Trump. It's been interesting to see the backlash from the left as far as, them making this out to be something about race or whatever it may be, right? It's very strange. Like when Obama was sending back millions, it was just a president being a president, keeping up on their promises, doing one of the main tasks that they are essentially commissioned to as a president. When Clinton was doing it, okay, no problem. Bush, he maybe got a little backlash, racism, he's creating cages, ICE, tag. But when it comes to DJT, it's been very interesting. It's almost like this is happening for the first time ever, that this has never happened before. There've never been people sent back to the country of whence they came, who came to this country illegally. But my perspective is honestly more so as far as the people who move here legally are actually oftentimes more opposed to illegal immigration than anybody else. So sometimes you'll see those who are Hispanic who are vehemently against illegal immigration. And those individuals may be targeted as sellouts. They may be called, white supremacists, et cetera, just like I am, right? As a black man who does not subscribe to the Democratic plantation and its own ideologies, I'm oftentimes labeled as some sort of sellout or whatever it may be, which I'm perfectly fine with. I take the label, I own it, I'm good with it, you know what I mean? I mean, those people who call me these sorts of names, all they're really doing is just contributing to the so-called algorithm, right? That's all they're kind of doing. I'm okay with that. But when it comes to the issue of immigration, or more specifically, illegal immigration, I am opposed to it. I am against it. I believe that it is a crime. Now, do I believe that, the people who should be the first to be targeted are the ones who are genuinely looking to just make a better life for themselves? No. I think we should target the criminals first. However, that does not take away from the reality or the fact, hard fact, the law that says that crossing that border without being vetted, or crossing that border in a certain way, deems it as illegal. And we're not the only country in the world that has these sorts of rules and regulations. You go across the planet and you will see the exact same thing. It is illegal to just cross into a country undocumented, let alone to do so and to get handouts and to get these sorts of things. And that's what's created even more animosity and honestly bitterness, within those who are just have had generations in America, or those who are first generation, or, who have immigrated into the country the legal way. We came here and we had to work our asses off. We came here and we had to do something. We had to produce. There was no hotel room that was given to you. There was no coupon. There was no food voucher. There was no EBT card with $13,000 on it. None of that existed. You came here the right way. You had to assert yourself. You had to go out into the marketplace and to make yourself more valuable to the marketplace in order to make money. You had to pay taxes. Yeah. You have to pay taxes. So just imagine seeing somebody coming over illegally, asserting themselves, basically, right? They walk into the house uninvited. They're going in the fridge, grabbing food. They belong here. They have the right to it. They're entitled to it, right? They go in the bed. They sleep in the bed. They got a room. They're entitled to it, right? They're laying up on the couch, feet up all on the table, right? Shoes still on. Not giving a damn, dirtying the place up. They're still entitled to it. Now, maybe they come in politely. Maybe they come in subtly. Okay, I'm just going to take a little something to eat, a little something there. You're still uninvited. This is not an uncompassionate thing to say. Bill Clinton sent, they say, nearly 12 million people back. Trump only sent one in his first term. Now, hopefully he gets numbers on the board, as far as his second term, because that's what we asked for, that's what we voted for. But that does not take away from the fact that this is still an illegal act. Oh, it is racism. This has never been about race. There are all types of people that are being sent back right now off the basis of their status. Again, they're targeting the hardened criminals first, right? The ones that supposedly didn't exist. According to the propaganda machine, these people just didn't exist. We were all making it up. We're right-wing lunatics. We're radicals, and MAGA is a cult, and therefore we're just making things up, right? Crime doesn't exist. Crime actually is down everywhere in the United States. Under Biden, there was no crime. We're living in a utopia of sort, right? There was no Aurora apartments being taken over by these gang members. That just was not a thing. That did not happen. That does not exist. That's what they want us believing, of course. But again, we see what we see, and we will not be gaslit out of that. So there are individuals who have come to this country and they're committing crimes on top of the crime of already coming here legally, because that is a crime. Again, I can't emphasize that enough, because the argument is, well, you're kicking out people who are just here trying to do their best, etc. Even if somebody came into my house and they were trying to do their best, I first must invite them. They may have the very best intentions. It is not a right for somebody to come into your home, to come into your nation, and to get the privileges of being in that place, right? It's not a right. Unless you were born in that nation, and a lot of those laws are still murky with, birthright, citizenship, and things of that nature. But I didn't deserve it. I was not entitled to it. I couldn't throw a hissy fit. I had family members who were sent back. I had a host of family members who didn't have the right paperwork, and so they had to go back and do it all over again, do it the right way, do it the right way. And the fact that you get another chance is a beautiful thing. The fact that they don't just say, you broke the law, you're done. If somebody broke into my house, they ain't never coming back. Why would I'm going to invite them back in? You just broke into my house. So there's more leniency within the system than I have as an individual, to be fair. And if we never got this opportunity to be here, if my pops didn't position himself and do the right things, and my mother didn't do the right things, and instead they chose a life of criminality, a life of degeneracy, whatever it was that then led them to being rejected through that application process, if that was the case, then we would not have made America home. It just wouldn't have been a thing. Right? We would have been subject to wherever else that we may have found ourselves, but it was not some sort of human right. That's the weirdest thing that is still kind of like, it's socially touted and accepted that everything is just a right. You have a right to higher education. No, you don't. You don't have a right to go to university. You don't have a right for somebody else to pay for your way into school. Even healthcare, no, it's not a right. It's like even clean water is not a right. That's something that in this infrastructure, in this ecosystem, we were fortunate enough to be able to create and then benefit from. It's a blessing. It's a beautiful thing. It's an innovation per se, but it's not a right. You have a human right to your own life. You have a right to, we have a right to shelter. There was never a right to shelter. There's a right to the shelter that you create, the land that you may own or whatever it may be. There's a deed to it, but to say that that's a fundamental human, it's a human right for people from everywhere else to be able to make a better life for themselves here. And it's the most ironic thing, because I also see so much anti-American rhetoric from individuals who are here illegally or are supporting those who are here illegally. Like, so you hate the country that you're calling racist and bigoted and xenophobic or whatever. You're burning their flags, but yet you're begging to stay here, or you're fighting to stay here. That makes zero sense. It's like these comment section communist social media socialists. Like, what are we actually talking about here? You have a problem with America. You hate the free market. You hate capitalism, but you benefit off of I'm still waiting for somebody to make that make sense for me. I done missed my whole elbow on the table because I can't make sense of that. Right? You have oftentimes people who come here the right way become the greatest appreciators of this country, because you know what the hell you came from and you know what you're stepping into. You see the opportunity. It's very heartbreaking and unfortunate when I see individuals who don't see what's right in front of them. And so when they see resources, when they see, a means of production per se, like you can create your own business, you can do doing this. We're looking at it and we're like, man, I'm looking at the jobs like, what the hell is this? I can do what? and the government won't seize it? Wait, you mean I can start something, I can build something? And if I do want to have, more freedom, less regulation, I can just move to another state in the same country, and I don't have to do a whole nother process. I can just choose to move there. And what? There's a reason why people are looking to break into this country and not these communistic socialist environments. There's a reason why that even in 2025, and it's been this way for decades at this point, or probably centuries, some would argue, that people are looking to break into this country by the millions. And there are people hoping or praying or wishing or just having, some sort of mental imagery of them being in a place like this. In the billions of people, I would say. At least half the world wishes that they had the conditions of this country at the very least. At the very least. It is a gift. And so to those who have come here and gone through a process, or to those who are simply born into this ecosystem, imagine having individuals who broke into that system, who broke the law to get into that place, now being rewarded for that behavior. There's nothing compassionate about it. It actually says screw you to the individuals who are adding to the ecosystem. There is no free housing. There is no free food stamps. There is no handouts for these individuals if it's not for the ones who are the law-abiding citizens, those who are actually contributing to the system. It's like the welfare system here. I don't want to hear a single person living off of welfare and in the welfare state, given over to that welfare mentality, generation after generation. I don't ever want to hear you complaining about America, ever want to hear you complaining about the American people, conservatives, none of that. Because these are the very same people contributing to you. The reason why you have a check from the government every single month is not because the government has this money. It's because we the people, the taxpayer, whoever's adding to that pool is the one who is paying for the outcome. And so again, to be somebody who came here the right way, imagine not only having somebody get to just come here willy-nilly, didn't really have to do much, but they're also being given things. And those things they're being given is coming from the money that you are adding to this tax system. I'll be damned. So yeah, I don't want to hear it from folks. I don't want to hear it because I think it's nothing but, I know, to hell with I think. I know it's nothing more than virtue signaling. I know it's nothing more than, displaying to the rest of the world that I am this virtuoso, this, self-righteous, high and mighty individual who cares so much about these people, right? In reality, it is not about those people, because also, what about when those people suffer? What about when there is no resources for those people? There is no opportunity. There's nothing for them. What about the children who come here? What about the 300,000 children that went missing under the Biden administration? 75,000 of them, found within the first couple of weeks of Trump's administration. And hopefully we will continue to do exactly that. But the fact that that existed in the first place is because of what we allowed.
I used to be afraid of the dark, place unknown like a heart in their heart. I used to see my life in the bar. Now the kids unchained, every shackle is lost. 2 steps in the moonlight, 2 step in the daytime. You just know when it feel right. You got a feeling the time's not. See you through those shades that I just threw on. Through my lenses, you just can't do no wrong. I fell in love with myself again. I fell in love with myself. I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 3-6-5, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising.